What's up everybody, C-Script here. It is 3 p.m. where I am right now, and I have not been drinking. I wanted to make a video giving my thoughts on this rumor that's out about Gamepass going to the Nintendo Switch, or even possibly Microsoft publishing games on the Nintendo Switch, like Ori, Cuphead. Some people even say Gears or Halo might go to the Nintendo Switch. And there's no way I can't say anything about this, because stepping back a little bit, I am a true Xbox fan, I consider myself. I am a fan of the other companies, I'm a fan of gaming in general. But I have to admit that ever since Microsoft entered in with the original Xbox, they won me over with how far ahead they pushed the industry. They actually forced Sony to compete and go forward and move their self forward a lot faster. They move the industry forward so much faster. And anybody that doesn't see that is lying to themselves. This is going to be a little bit of a long rant because, like I said, I love Xbox so much, like as a brand. I remember when my friend came over first with his Xbox and we played Halo 2. And it just blew me away. And then when I played Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, I was even more blown away. That single game won me over. Because if you've ever played the PS2 version of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, or even the GameCube, I tried that one time, played the GameCube version. The Xbox version is just like a whole different game, a whole different level of realism than I had ever seen in any other game. I played that game more in that generation than any other game because it was so good. I remember thinking, looking at those visuals, graphics aren't going to get any better than this, don't need to, or I didn't really even have any desire for them to. It looked so mind-blowingly good. It still holds up, but by today's standards, it looks dated. But that's how far ahead the Xbox pushed the gaming industry. With the 360 too, they had chipsets and built-in shaders and a unified system that we haven't even seen on PC up to that point. So they moved all the gaming industry, Microsoft as a whole, moved the whole gaming industry forward by leaps and bounds. And all the other advancements that I just can't leave out, like achievements, that's another dimension to gaming on top of in gamer score that Sony followed right up with trophies. So anybody that says that they haven't advanced the industry forward is lying to themselves. I think that they have advanced it forward than any other single company. Like I said, this might be a long video, but getting back to this rumor, this is really lamentable. This is not good in my opinion. That's the whole point. This was the whole point of the console, quote, war. This was the whole thing. If somebody with a Nintendo Switch is going to be able to play Halo and Gears, that pisses me off in a way. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand that. Like, why would you want other people not to have those games? That's the whole point, was you had to buy an Xbox to get it. That was what made Halo cool. You're part of that closed, tight-knit community. You're Xbox, you're Halo guys. It's just crazy to me. And I know having it open, there's upsides and downsides to having it open or closed. Having an open community or closed community. But having a closed platform like that, and that's what made it special. It made it better. It made it rarer, more unique. A unique experience that you could find nowhere else. But now it's going to be a unique experience you can find nowhere else but the Xbox application, I guess. And that's just not as cool to me. I'm sorry. This is a sad day. It's an end of an era. I know nobody's probably going to watch this video, but I'm just lamenting it because, and not loving it. It could turn out good for them in the long run. It could turn out good. They could be making all the right bets business-wise. But speaking console-wise, I just wish that they would have came out of this generation like they should have. Without a Kinect, a little bit cheaper, it didn't even necessarily have to be more powerful. People don't really care about power, they more care about the games. But once you tried to screw the consumer over with always online DRM, which that's what it was, anybody that says that's not what it was, whatever, the consumers have spoken on that. We did not want it, we do not want it, we do not want always online. But for me, it's just not cool. If I go over to all my friends' house that have PS4s someday, they never were into Halo, they never were into Gears because they didn't have access to those games because they made the choice. I'm a PlayStation guy, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation. But now, they get to play the same games I get. They didn't do the deal. That's part of the deal was you buy this console, you get these games. Now it's you get these games no matter what console you buy because we're just that friendly. And that's not cool to me. That was the point. That was the whole point. And I know that might be old school thinking or whatever. And I play on PC too. I play a lot of PC games, but I game on everything. But I'm just saying, Xbox as a brand, I loved them, but I don't know about this path they're going down. But maybe it's the right path. And you gotta imagine Sony not really knowing what to do. Like, I don't think they know what to do, because it's sort of like when in real life, when you're doing really, really good, you start to get paranoid and guilty about it and like wonder, what's my downfall going to be? What am I going to do wrong? And it's like, they don't know how to react to this. They don't know if they should just stick with what they're doing and hope the consumer stays the same as they are now, which that's probably what I would do. Like, they're providing great games, they're providing great experiences. Again, I'm not a PlayStation guy. I have a PlayStation, but I'm more of an Xbox guy, but they're doing all the right things. They're making all the right moves. It seems, anyway. But in the back of their minds, I gotta think, they're thinking, what do we do? How do we react to this? Do we need to be on every device, or is us being closed and old school fine for us? You know what I mean? Because this is a huge deal for Sony. It's not as huge of a deal for Microsoft. It's a huge deal for Sony's survival if PlayStation is a succeeding brand going forward. This is a long rant, but I don't like it. I do not think it's a good thing for Nintendo Switch guys to be playing Halo, because that's not really that fair. That was the whole point of buying an Xbox, is that you get those unique experiences. And not everybody's going to get that, and there's going to be people that are like, yay, Microsoft! But they're pulling a Sega, except they're doing it backdoor sneaky style. Like, they can't say they're going bankrupt because they're Microsoft, they're not going bankrupt, but they're slowly weaning us off their console. They're slowly moving us away from their hardware because they don't care anymore. And if they don't care, why should we care? And it's sad because they were good for this consumer. They made Sony actually compete. If Microsoft gets out, Sony and Nintendo aren't even really competing on the same terms anymore. They're not going for the same markets, really. And a lot of people that own PlayStations own Nintendos too, and Nintendo knows that. They're not really competing. They're scratching two different itches. And that's why Microsoft was good, because they were actually competing. They have the resources and the funds. Nintendo doesn't anymore. That's what I need to make another rant video, because making consoles and games is not a sustainable business model unless you can find a niche like Nintendo has. The only reason Sony and Microsoft can do it is they lose so much money, but they can afford to lose it. And part of the value of their brand is just making people believe that it's valuable. That's part of what corporations are, is mostly just public trust. Transformational gaming. He has a video about this. He makes really great points about how corporate brands work. And that's what Xbox is becoming. It's no longer a console, it's just a brand. And that's sad to me. It's an end of an era. This is the longest video I've ever made. But man, And if this works, I hope this works out good for them. I hope that this goes good. But I do not hope it goes good for them if I see an MFN Xbox app on a Sony console. Because then Xbox will have lost. They will have admitted defeat. And that's just the plain fact of the matter. They will have admitted, we can't outdo you in the console space. We can't sell more consoles than you, so we're just going to put our games and access your customer base like Sega did. And I know it's not the exact same, it's not the exact same situation, but it's kind of similar. They're just saying, screw it. I have to cut it off here, guys, but that's basically my gist of the thoughts on it. I do not approve of this on an instinctual level. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's the right move for them at this point in time. I mean, it's not like we can turn back the clock and redo the launch of the Xbox One. So, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you did, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation. Like and subscribe and all that. Script out. Perfect plan. As long as this guy don't come. Oh my gosh, here he comes.
I don't know what you're up to.
He sees.
Come out of there.
What the freak?
This was off earlier.
Close the door.
We've got a man down.
Close the door.
What's going on?
Close the door.
Looks like we've got trouble.
Oh, close the door.
Man down. Man down. We've got a man down.
Oh my god.
Looks like we've got trouble.
Oh, this is bad. This is the worst. They're gonna find out. I had to do it. There was no... Okay. Does anybody else know? Oh gosh. He doesn't know. Or by some miracle. Oh gosh. My heart is like beating so fast. I can't handle that. Oh god.